Heather from Heather Conley Photography. I'm an architectural photographer in Connecticut. Today's topic is what happens after the photo shoot. I get that question a lot when I'm working on proposals with clients. Sometimes clients have worked with a professional photographer before, but each photographer's process could be a little bit different. But I also work with clients who have never hired a professional architectural photographer before, so it's very exciting to work with them for the first time and walk them kind of through the process. And I have a 6-step process which actually kind of drives everything and helps to keep us on track. So it's one piece of the process, which is what happens after the shoot, is really pretty straightforward. So first, all the images that came out of the shoot are culled down. So as the photographer, I go through 500 images, 1,000 images, depending on how large the shoot is and if there are multiple locations, multiple shoots, and really pull out the best of the shots. There are shots that you can't use, there are test shots, so again, kind of culling through all of those, we call it, and pulling out the proofs. And then the proofs get uploaded into a web gallery within a couple of days, and that's an online gallery. It's private, and my client can go in and pick their favorites. They can select their final images, and then we'll just be sure those images are final, because once they are final, we can't go back. We go into retouching. And before the retouching process, though, I do like to speak with clients about their particular retouching preferences. So I will give you an example. I have photographed retail interiors or corporate interiors, and do you want to leave in the exit signs, the sprinklers, all the different types of HVAC and things going on the ceiling tiles, or over a doorway there's a big exit sign. So depending if it's an architect or if it's a builder, they have certain preferences. Some want to leave it in because it shows that you're following code and that everything is very, cross the T, dot the I, and that's fine. And then there are other clients who say, nope, we're going to take that out. We're really going to remove any of the extras, or we're going to keep something in or take something out. It really is a preference. So I want to make sure clients are really loving their images, and we want to make sure that we retouch them exactly the way that they like them. So that is what we do before everything is final and goes into retouching. And then from retouching, again, generally I have a 2 to 3 week window. If we don't have any restrictions or a backlog of images that are working for other clients, other projects, then typically we just give a 2 to 3 week window, unless a client specifically has told me they have a delivery timeline and a deadline, they have to submit an award, they need to put together a publication piece, or they have to be featured in some kind of editorial. Then I get them the images in a rush. We can also do a rush as well, which there are fees associated with rushing the images and getting them together faster than the normal kind of 2 to 3 week window. So after that is delivery, and then I basically will kind of take all the images, make sure they have continuity of size and formats, and put them together in an organized way, and then even break them out by folder. If we have a huge set of projects, like 10 projects in one contract, then I'll organize everything. And then in that agreement also, I have an awesome infographic that really outlines license and usage details with my images. Each photographer's agreement is slightly different, so I keep a copy of that in there along with the license for each party. And then it's wonderful because if you have multiple people, which most firms do, and their team, people segue in and out of a firm, then they have the usage requirements and the licensing requirements. So when they pull up those images, they know exactly what they should and shouldn't do with them, and they know exactly how to apply them and use them, and when there's photo credit required and when there's not. So what usages require it, what don't, what's optional. So I think clients have told me that was helpful, so I created that infographic for them. So I love the questions I get from my clients. If you have more questions for me, definitely leave them right below this video, and I will do my best to answer them for you in a timely manner. So I think that's everything. So today we covered what happens after the photo shoot, right? So we've had the photo shoot, and then the images are put into a gallery, the client selects the images, and then the images go into retouching and then delivery. So those are the 5 steps. I will add one more item before I wrap it up here, is that depending how quickly a client will choose their images, from the date of them choosing the images, then we add that 2 to 3 week window for standard delivery. So if a client takes 2 months to choose their images, well, then it will happen after that. So always factor that in. If you know decision making is very rapid in your firm, great. But if you know that it takes a while, the multiple principals need to look at the files and each make their selections, or there are multiple owners or multiple kind of project owners that need to look at images, then it could take longer to get that process through. But that's basically what happens. And if you want to learn more about working with an architectural photographer like me, visit my website at heatherconleyphotography.com, and I'll see you next time.